This is a Kmart production, brought to you by Dudzik Chiropractic and MJB Electric. Welcome to ZaBillsPodcast. If this is your first time, we discuss the Bills games while we review two different Buffalo pizzas. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Listener's discretion is advised. ZaBillsPodcast.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live! F*** it! Do it live! I'll write it, and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
In 5, 4, 3.
All right, folks. This is the ZaBills Podcast, where guys who love pizza talk about the Bills. Sean, I did that for you. I hope you liked it.
I appreciate that. I think ZaBills Nation's going to like the Stewie version of that intro.
Yeah, I messed around, and now I've got now I can bleep you guys.
That's amazing. That's actually, the intro is fantastic. The bleep, that's a game changer.
Yep, see? I got it right here. So I got playoffs and the bleep right near each other.
Perfect.
Okay, folks, if you live under a rock, the Bills won. They beat the Broncos 31-7. I was nervous after the first 3 plays of the game, and then, turned it around. You know?
I think I was nervous until probably like midway through the third quarter.
Yep.
Third quarter?
Yeah.
I have to agree with that.
Wow.
You kept waiting for it to just
implode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because it was close. It was 10-7. It could have been 10-10 at half. But they missed the field goal.
Yeah.
Big doink, which was great to see somebody else do instead of Bass. But, I mean, I was, with our defense, I mean, they gave up 7 points. I guess I can't really talk too much, but, I mean, they're still worrisome.
Herb, were you at the game?
Hell yeah.
How loud was that doink? I heard it was very loud.
It was probably loud, yeah. I don't remember.
It was still the first
Sounded
half.
loud
He
on
was still
TV.
sleeping.
We're going to have to rework this guy's contract. This is fucking ridiculous. We're paying you to pay attention.
We don't call him blackout for nothing.
Well, that's true. We're going to send him to pay for his rehab. I got to turn that down. Okay, so hopes, fears, dreams coming out of that game.
Hope's defense. The defense did exactly what we hoped it would do. It showed up. It kept them off the board outside of the first drive. They seemed flummoxed. And
flummoxed, that's a good word tonight.
I mean, anytime you go out of a play, everyone to a man, I think, agreed last week that this was the best team the Bills had played in the last 5 years of the playoffs, to start the playoffs.
Yeah.
Compared to New England and Miami. And they looked like it looked like a 2 versus 7 seed. And that's exactly how it turned out.
Okay. Next.
Yeah.
That was your hope. So someone give me a fear.
No fears.
Oh, you're the wrong guy for that one.
No, yeah, I was nervous until that Ty Johnson play, and that was like
fucking unbelievable.
As close as it freaking gets. Like that was
that should have never happened. Like I can't believe that pass was caught, completed, inbound, all that.
But I mean, we were dominating, like time of possession, yards, we more than doubled them in both those. So the score was not, even when it was close, it wasn't indicative of how much we were the better team, clearly. But it was a little too close for comfort until that play, and then we pulled away. I mean, I was never nervous that they were going to actually beat us, though. They stink.
Even after that first big bomb for the touchdown?
It wasn't great, but it was. I think that was a good wake up call for the team. Like the Bills, the defense freaking whooped ass after that. So it worked. Woke the boys up.
All right. So you brought up defense. I will ask this question to y'all: was Ed Oliver in the game?
I can't even get started. I don't know if he was out there. I saw him on the sideline.
He is the one player that I did not notice.
I saw him on the sideline.
You noticed Vaughn out there.
Yeah.
Had a couple
pressures
pressures.
in there, yeah. He might have got to the quarterback after a few years ago,
Oh, somebody's a happy boy.
Professor
look at
Pizza.
that.
Professor Pizza, good luck on these tonight. Open up the box.
You're going to find out.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely judging a book by a cover, Sean.
I'm sorry about that. You got to try it, then give your impression of the pizza.
They both have pizza.
Oh, they do. They both have it. Yep.
Yes.
They're just stacked.
No, I put them together.
Oh, you did?
Okay.
So that,
Never mind. I lied.
Keep looking.
yeah. So, okay, sorry. So go ahead. Back to Ed Oliver.
Just
MIA.
More of the same. I saw him in the sideline. Didn't see him on the field at all. Gets paid a lot of money. Is not worth a bit of it, I don't think. But I don't know. It's my opinion.
So I'm going to jump ahead to next week. What if Ed Oliver is non-existent in that game?
Well, then everybody's going on vacation.
I was going to say,
I mean, like, is that a guy who you might want to ship?
I mean,
Sell him, trade him?
I would have said trade him a long time ago. His contract is pretty big, I think.
Yeah.
And he's definitely not done enough to be tradable. I don't think to get anything back for him that's worthy. And so, I mean, he was a number 9 pick overall. So, you know, I feel like you definitely want to get something for him if you're going to trade him. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the big thing that I took away from the game this week was the time of possession. I've been harping on it all year long that keep Josh Allen out there, ball control all day long, and they finally did it in a game, and it worked out perfect.
Mike?
My thing is, I don't really care what we do with him in the offseason.
Sure.
I think we're utilizing the players that are playing well. At least it seemed to be the second half. And if he's not playing well, don't play him. You know, you dress him like you didn't dress Elam, right? Mm-hmm. So you definitely dress him, but put in the players like who else is with Smoot or whatever. Who's
Smoot?
That?
Oh yeah.
You know, I saw him a bunch of times.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I saw Vaughn more than I saw him.
Yeah.
You know, and so hey, whoever's playing well, that's who you play. This is critical time. We'll worry about that in the offseason, you know.
But is it concerning that Ed Oliver hasn't had an Ed Oliver statement game in a big game?
Well, he signed that deal before last year, and last year he was lights out.
Yeah, last year.
And all of a sudden now he's gone. Like, I don't know. I don't understand what happened. It's not like a major injury, you know, where Trey White was never the same, you know, that sort of stuff. Is it mental? I mean, who knows? Do the teams have him figured out? He's just gone.
It's hard to show your wealth when a franchise gives up kind of like they did on the run game. He's an inside lineman. He's not an edge rusher. You're not going to see him go after the quarterback as much. I love it. I love the fact that we're beating this guy up because when ZaBills Nation, when we do that, they shut us up. Yeah. And
he needs to this week.
If there's a time for him to show up and shut us up, this is the game for it. I want him to sit there. We'll call him up and we'll be like, Ed, give us the business.
Yep.
When he shuts down the Baltimore Raven run game.
I hope so, because that's a big part of the game.
That's what we do. We beat on someone.
He dominated against the Lions.
Yeah.
That was one of our biggest games. So,
So he played that
need him
game
to
and
step
then the
up for
first one
this
against
one.
the Dolphins in
Yeah.
Miami he played. Those were 2 games out of the whole year. Maybe a third one, who knows? But I don't really recall seeing him a whole lot other than that, maybe here or there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of frustrating, really, honestly. And, you know, honestly, like he is an interior defensive lineman, so most people don't really pay attention to that a whole lot. I particularly usually do for, like, the offensive, defensive lines. Like, I look at that a lot, and he's just kind of a waste of space.
Well, it's kind of hard not to see the lack of production from your defensive line because when running backs are getting to the second level all the time, it's kind of glaring that your D tackles aren't making
That's
plays
one of the
at
biggest
the line.
knocks of this D is they can't stop the run.
Right.
And we're about to go up against a team that put up 300 rushing yards last week. 199 by Henry alone.
Okay, so it looks like we've already moved on from the Broncos game.
Well,
like,
okay.
there's
Thanks, Broncos. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I mean,
you asked for it. You got it.
So
yeah, that was the big thing. That all those fans that we talked about last time asking for Buffalo, well, here you are, pal.
Yep. Yep, I agree.
what are you doing? He's got killed. Oh my God. Okay, go off the side. Stop. Go somewhere else. Which one? You don't like either of them?
Oh my gosh!
You're off the podcast. Get out.
Your
Wow.
PhD is
We like
revoked.
that.
Pepperoni.
We like the thick
my
cheese.
Dr. Pepperoni.
It's like biting through chocolate.
Oh no.
Oh,
Delicious.
boy. Jeez.
Okay.
All right, let's
I'll
refocus.
email
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Where's that from?
What?
I need to know where to not.
TC Wheelers and Good Guys.
Yeah, I think we got to kind of move off the defense. Anytime a playoff game, you only give up 7 points. I think we're over analyzing.
I think the Broncos.
We're focusing on
I
the
think the
negative.
Broncos were that bad.
Okay.
And I also think the Steelers are not a good team either.
Fair.
Right.
Yep.
And Baltimore didn't exactly beat up on the Steelers either. They won by what, 2 scores, right?
Correct. 28-14.
So
Steelers freaking Mike Tomlin's got to go. They punted that game away. They
intended.
gave them the game in the first half. Their team, talk about a team that just collapsed.
Was that the team that
13
punted
straight
on
runs
4th and
a
inches?
Yes, that was.
And then
Fired.
immediately the Ravens had 13 straight runs on a touchdown drive. Like, get that coaching staff's got to go. But even so, the Ravens were giving up these long passes left and right in the second half to the Steelers.
Yeah.
Like, they're definitely vulnerable there.
And which brings up a good point of what happened last time we played them. We didn't have Amari Cooper, and now we do. And Amari Cooper really hasn't done a lot in Buffalo here, but this is the time to shine because I feel like we can definitely hit him big time on the outside, and that's a good way of winning the game.
I disagree with you a little bit. Amari Cooper may not have the stats, but he's commanding, for lack of a better word, the top defender.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
so now that's freeing up all of these other everybody eats receivers.
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, how big was that?
Yeah.
Well, and this just shows why Mike and I are such geniuses because I have a screenshot
Oh boy.
just to this point.
Oh no, only you are a genius when you screenshot. I'm not.
Yes.
That's right.
I'm still sore from that. That was last year.
Yes, Grasshopper. Josh Allen has passed for 257 yards per game with Amari Cooper this year. 186 without him.
All right.
So
Proof's in the
it's
pudding.
definitely opening up the game
Yeah.
a bit.
So Dennis, you're right. The stats, his individual stats aren't there, but
Yeah.
that's not this team anymore.
Yeah, he's pulling some attention.
This could be an Amari game, though, stats wise.
Really quick though, if we could, I know we moved on from Denver, but there's one
we
thing
can go
we have
back.
to talk about real quick. That
Mac
Mac
Collins hit.
hit.
Absolutely.
Holy
Yeah.
moly!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was Steve Tasker. I'm like, that's great, and he broke through 2 defenders to hit him like
It
that.
was great. Timing was perfect. I feel like plays like that is what keeps you going. In a Ravens game that maybe you're down by a touchdown and not playing all that great, somebody does something like that and you're right back in it.
Did you guys see his outfit walking into the game this week?
Flintstones.
Flintstone.
Speaking of change in tempos, what about that fake punt that they got off on us?
They learned something
that
from
one-
New England there, I think.
I literally said, just make sure they're not fake punting
Right.
here. Like, that's all you have to
Because
defend
with
on
Peyton,
that play.
Peyton will do
And
that.
they did
stuff.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's all you got to
Smiley,
defend against these teams that
Yeah.
are just
To me,
overmatched.
that was coaching.
is Smiley fired?
Oh,
Yeah.
After the season?
yeah.
Absolutely.
They
He's gotta
sucked
go.
before that.
Yeah. I agree.
When a team's punting against the Bills, all you got to do is just be sure they're not fake punting.
Right.
Get the ball and give it to Josh.
I will say
Like,
this.
the ball's in Josh's hands.
The Broncos did prove that they are one of the better sacking defenses in the league. They put us down twice. How many times did we sack Knicks?
Right.
Once?
No,
What?
I think twice.
Two. What?
Because Milano got one and somebody else.
It's been many games since Josh Allen's been sacked.
I believe
Yeah.
eight.
Yeah.
Eight games. And I know, again, we're kind of going negative there. Our offensive line really held it down. Our biggest fear, I think, from every Bills fans was what the Denver defensive line could do to us. And we neutralized them.
Yep.
Whether it was with the run game, whether it was with Josh Allen, whether it was the play calling, their biggest strength on the line, defensive line, was neutralized. Pretty much, they were taken out of the game completely.
Romo and Nance said the game is going to be won or lost right there, because if either side of that ball took over, and that's what happened. Josh had all day, like the Ty Johnson touchdown.
He did.
I think they said it was 7 or 8 seconds he had.
Yep.
And they said Ty Johnson ran 70 yards on that play.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, that was, so many unbelievable plays we've had this season. That just adds to the lexicon of what we've had this year.
And I don't want to be negative, about it was great. It worked out perfectly. But on 4th and 1, why are we throwing it? Why is he in shotgun? I mean, how many 3rd and 4th downs do we get?
Right,
on 1
tush
yard?
push.
Yeah. So, but hey, it worked out great. But if it didn't,
it's a different game.
and it barely worked out great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that he saw him. I gotta figure that if you throw an interception in the back of the end zone, it's going. Okay, thank God. If you throw him to the back of the end zone, that he either catches it and it's a touchdown or whatever. If it's picked off, okay, it's in the back of the end zone. It's kind of like a touchback kind of thing. But, I mean, I guess it was kind of like a low-risk kind of throw. I can't believe he threw it based on when he threw it and what he saw.
Exactly, yeah.
That was his only option. Like, when you see the replays of that play, like, I saw, like, the all-22 of that. Nobody was even remotely open.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because this is what I wanted to bring up. Do you feel that the Bills receivers on their own do not create enough separation regularly, and that Brady has to run plays of trickery or whatever to try and help these guys out more to get more open, if that makes sense?
I think that's been the game plan all year. Because of who we have, the personnel we have, we don't have someone with breakaway speed. Even Amari Cooper, who's clearly the number one as far as ability and all that, he doesn't even have that real breakaway speed, like a Tyreek Hill or So I think that's been the scheme all year, and it's worked.
Yeah.
Look at that one. I don't remember. I think it was one that went to Knox, and they had the play design where Knox and Kincaid crossed each other. And when that happened, the defenders got a little confused, and that's why Knox was open by 5 yards in every direction.
Yep, I remember that play.
Yeah, and I think too when that happens, they're typically playing man. And if you have that as the case, you have Josh Allen in his legs.
Right. Yep.
There's not as many people who can come in and crash on him.
Yeah.
Right.
So with him, he's like the variable that it doesn't really matter if those guys can't get open.
Right.
I still think it's a concern. We saw it in the red zone where the Bills were 1 for 5 on the red zone.
Yeah. Well, Denver was the number one red zone defense.
Yeah.
too, so.
Okay. Yeah, and we've been great in the red zone all year, but these playoff games, they're just that much less time and separation and all that shit.
Patrick Surtain is a pretty good DB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got cooked, though.
He did.
Yeah, he did a couple times.
Yeah.
So.
No turnovers.
Yeah.
What?
No turnovers.
Yep.
And one of the red zone plays one of the sacks, Josh was totally right, where there was a blatant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the ref apologized to him. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not what I saw.
I thought I heard that the ref came over on the sidelines because Josh was complaining too much or something.
That's what
Josh said.
But he's not going to embarrass him.
Right. That's who Josh is.
Right.
Josh took it, and then when the follow-up question was, did he apologize to you? And he's like, I'm just going to leave it there.
Well, there was no makeup call, I'll tell you that.
No.
Because how about that pass interference on Coleman, was that? When he couldn't get his arms up to catch the ball?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That was bad.
That was so brutal.
Terrible.
Right. But those two, which should have been called and were called those 15 yards, the one on the helmet-to-helmet contact extended it in that, because that was, I believe, third down, and Josh Allen threw that pass, which I know he regrets.
Is that the Ray Davis one?
Ray Davis took it in the helmet. Automatic first down. We go down, we score, and the game's pretty much over after that.
Yeah.
But those penalties that they called played a significant role in the outcome of the game.
Yeah.
2 personal fouls Denver took. Extended drives that ended up in the back of their end zone.
But I think both of those are warranted. I mean, especially...
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. But
Ray Davis
nothing...
is dead
right.
out there.
Right.
That was a hospital
Yeah, he got
pass.
knocked out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
One last thing on the tush push.
Start hosting the show.
Sorry.
No, I like a new captain.
When we didn't tush push and we threw the touchdown to Ty Johnson, was it 4th and a long one? I don't know why. Yeah, because
it was like
it
1.5.
was. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like a full.
So I guess I can see why.
But even so, if you're not going to tush push, you still have Josh. Why
Why didn't he take off sooner?
Right.
I said the same thing as you, Mike. As when they were going on 4th and 1, I was happy, but I was like, well, I wouldn't go when he was in shotgun. I was like, I wouldn't go for like that. But
right.
I mean, it worked out. So
He had time to just take off and get it.
yeah,
100% he did. But you know what? Hey, I love the outcome. I love it. It'd be a completely different conversation if that play didn't work or Johnson's toe was down or you know what I mean.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
I think what he saw is he had all day to throw too.
yeah.
Yeah. He did that little bunny hop thing.
Yep. And he was directing traffic again, telling them where to go.
Yeah.
It might be too early, but is there any news on Davis or Taron Johnson?
I heard today that Ray Davis is progressing in the protocol. I guess there's 5 steps, and he is progressing well. Don't know if he'll play Sunday, but at least he is making improvements.
It was a nasty hit.
Yes.
What about Taron Johnson? Any word on him?
He came back
in the game.
He came back in.
No, I know, but you know how sometimes the after
There's a
effects.
relapse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just making sure.
Didn't hear anything about him.
Okay.
I'm glad you brought his name. I have a question about the defense that maybe we should try to install for this game. Do you think this would be a game that would make sense to go to a 4-3 and keep Taron Johnson in, but maybe push Hamlin out? Because I think Taron Johnson's a better player than Hamlin.
Oh,
I do
100%
too.
he is.
Yeah.
But
Because I think you need to eliminate Derrick Henry from this game.
Yeah.
yeah, you need to try. I think Hamlin and Taron Johnson play completely different positions, though.
I get what you're saying.
Right? Because if you bring in a third linebacker, Taron Johnson would most likely be out. He's a better player than Hamlin, so see a weaker player, right? I would assume.
You would think.
I don't know if they would do something that drastic. I don't think they're taking Taron off the field. He played 98% of the snaps against the Broncos.
I don't want him off
well,
the
you're
field.
saying
Yeah.
take Hamlin.
Yeah,
off.
Hamlin.
Hamlin off to bring in Dorian Williams for
also-
another run stopper
Dorian Williams didn't play one defensive snap against Denver.
because they don't have a running game.
Well,
Yeah.
here's something else you have to remember, too. I'm sure you've all seen it. It's been all over the internet. When we played Baltimore earlier in the year, we didn't have Taron Johnson, Terrell Bernard, or Matt Milano.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
We didn't have any of those guys.
Or Taylor Rapp.
Or Taylor Rapp.
Or 3/4 without Shakir.
So
James
think-
Cook
I
is
think
injured.
there's-
Amari Cooper.
No Amari Cooper.
No Amari, no
it-
Vaughn.
it's a different
Cook had a
team.
toe issue.
Yeah, that's right.
Allen had
Vaughn
a
was still
broken
suspended.
hand.
On paper, different team, but from what you've seen the last couple of weeks,
Still scared to
using
death.
your heads and not your hearts, Herb.
I'll say Ravens have revamped their defense since that matchup, and they kind of kicked the shit out of us. No two ways about it. But,
Josh has
yeah.
to play perfect
Yeah.
He's got to
has
play really
to.
good.
And the
because
defense has to
he did
do
not play
something.
well in that first Ravens matchup.
As far as injury report, the only 2 guys that were limited were Ray Davis and Alec Anderson today.
Okay.
Everybody else practiced full.
That's hopefully Alec Anderson, because
and nobody missed practice.
because when he comes in for those jumbo packages, man,
Yeah.
they can really run the ball.
Good stuff. I would say with the way that we're going to win the Ravens game, I think, and I've been saying it all year, and I said it earlier about the Broncos game, is the time of possession. I don't think it'll be as bad as the Broncos game, how it's like doubled, but we have to win the time of possession 100%, because there's no way, even if our defense plays great, there's no way we're going to completely stop.
You cannot go 3 and out.
Yeah.
You cannot.
You can't have Henry piling up chunk gains on you either. Like if he gets like 25 carries, that you're in trouble.
Well, in the last
Because then
several
you're going to
times,
get beat up in the fourth.
You got to
quarter.
keep him. You can't let him run to the house.
the last several times he's played us, no matter what team he's on, he's done it to us.
One big run.
Yep.
We also have to dictate. We have to be the ones right away that dictates everything.
You said that about the Broncos game too.
I did.
Put him to
That-
bed early.
That didn't work at all.
Right, but I think it's important to set the tone. I think again, when you got a player, you see this in multiple sports, whether it's pitching or whether it's a center ice or goaltending or whatever. Right now, Henry is, I think, in the minds of a lot of Bills fans, and if the Bills can shut them down 3 and out, the Bills can kind of hold him at bay. I think it's going to go a long way to the team's overall confidence. And this team, said it last week, said it before, they're juggernaut. The momentum they build makes them immensely more powerful.
Who are you talking about?
The Buffalo Bills. They're a chugging train.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
That when they can get a little bit of momentum going, they're very hard to beat. As
What are you guys smoking on that side of the table?
I get
both
it.
of you.
I get. Well, they just curved.
3 of us.
I mean, I get it. This was a playoff series where, again, the favorites pretty much carried it, with the exception, even though they were a lower seed, of Minnesota. I mean, outside of that, how teams,
God, they suck.
right? But still, the Bills handled at home a team that I think, again, we're just pessimistic Bills fans. We have the Ravens in the back of our head. We don't think they can beat them. I, for the one part, agree with
do.
a lot of the Bills Nation. Scared of them. I'll admit it. But I'm not willing to just throw the white flag and take my football and go home.
Let me ask you this. If you could pick for this Sunday's game, would you rather be playing Kansas City or Baltimore?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Okay.
I just looked up Derrick Henry's rushing yards per game this season.
Yeah.
Number one, he lit up Pittsburgh in the regular season too. He lit us up, 199 against us. But he's had some games that were in the 70s, 60s, against Philadelphia, 63.
How about on the road?
Did Lamar Jackson have huge games in those days where Derrick Henry was quiet?
Well, I'm not sure because I actually Googled
Henry.
So here's his rushing yards you asked for away games. At the Texans, 147. At the Giants, 67.
Giants.
At the Chargers,
Lamar Jackson must have thrown 5 touchdowns.
I think he did.
At the Chargers, 140. Okay, here at Pittsburgh, 65.
It was the first game they played.
At Cleveland, 73. At Tampa Bay, 169. At Cincinnati, 92. At Dallas, 151. At Kansas City, first game of the year, 45.
Ed Oliver, we're calling your number, buddy. We need you to have a big game. There's your guy.
Well, that's the thing. So we've seen Josh play perfect in 0-degree weather. We've never seen Lamar apparently play below 29 degrees in any game. That was the stat I saw today. That was the coldest game he's ever played is 29 degrees. We saw him struggle in Buffalo in 2020 with weather. If you go up 14-3, you're going to be feeling fucking great about your chances. Because then maybe Derrick Henry's kind of out of the game a little bit. Maybe you're shutting down the run game a little bit. And maybe you have to force Lamar has to play well in cold weather.
Without Zay Flowers.
Without Zay Flowers.
Tentatively speaking. I think they're talking smack right now, like, oh, he might be a game time.
He's not playing.
I don't think he's playing. So, I mean, that's their number one guy.
It's going to be 15 degrees around kickoff.
Yeah.
And I'll say it again, too.
I'm glad I'll be at home.
We didn't have TB or Milano in the middle to back them up.
And
so
you're playing on the road. You just got basically an 88 off of maybe the second play or maybe the first play of the game, an 88 yard. The Bills were mentally defeated in the first 5 minutes. Early. It happens. It happens in every sport. It happens in every team every so often, right? You go through that. You learn from it. If they can, like Chris said, if they can grab the momentum early and force the Ravens to adjust their game plan. The only thing that concerns me about what you're doing is we're already making moves. I want the Buffalo Bills to have that new defensive scheme in their pocket in case it's not working. Have a backup plan to your original plan. I like it, but I don't necessarily like to sit there and change stuff because of who's coming at us. Prove it to us. And then if it's not working, be able to be flexible and change.
Have we played a really good running team since Milano's been back?
Well, this is the first game that Milano I thought actually looked decent.
Yeah,
correct. It was
I
shitty
agree.
to this point.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think he was doing
regardless of who we're playing.
I think he was doing a little spying on Knicks too.
He did that most of the
That's how
time.
he got a sack.
Yeah.
And the Ravens' run game is just a totally different animal than any other team we're going to face because Lamar is elite at the read option. So you can try it till you're fucking blue in the face and say you're going to shut down Derrick Henry, but then Lamar's going to go out the back door on you and run it 50 yards.
Yeah, we're going to say the same thing about Lamar that other teams say about Josh. You got to keep him in the pocket. Got to contain him.
Yeah, you can't do both. It's like you got to pick your poison in the run game.
This is going to be an important game where they tackle efficiently.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to Olay bullshit.
Right.
Also, I think that Von Miller not being quick enough to get to the quarterback anymore, for the most part, I think that means that he needs to set the edge.
Correct.
He needs to make sure that the edge is set, and Lamar can't get out wide.
Absolutely. Rousseau needs a big game here.
Yeah. He did have a sack. He was the other guy that got a sack.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I think
that was more in garbage time, though, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the guys from the defense need to pick it up a little bit.
Derrick Henry's averaging 5.9 yards a carry this year.
Jesus Christ.
And Lamar's averaging 6.6. So,
what was their record?
So do with that what you will.
yeah.
Honestly, I still like our chances. I really do.
They were what, 12-7? 12-5? 12-5, I think. And I want to address, let's jump off of this team for a second.
12-5.
How the hell were the Vikings a 14-win team?
Oh, my
I
goodness.
think Darnold can't play in under pressure.
All their losses were to the Rams and to the Lions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't understand why teams didn't figure out that all
He
you
sees
have to do
ghosts.
is blitz Darnold.
All he
Like,
can see
he
are
was-
ghosts.
He's so bad under pressure.
He's terrible.
One of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen under pressure these last two games.
Who the hell's their current backup?
Well, they drafted
Active.
J.J. McCarthy, but
Active.
then they signed Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling people they should go to Daniel Jones at halftime. Not that he's any better. He's almost as bad as Darnold at that. But
How much money do you think Darnold just lost in these last two games?
Oh, a ton.
it should
From
be
from the Vikings
150
alone.
million.
Because the Vikings even came out and said that if Darnold does well in the playoffs, that they would probably do something for him.
Yeah.
He's not going to get anything from the Vikings now. Maybe they'll throw him the what do you call it? The tender, the
franchise
tag.
Yeah. Maybe, but I don't know.
With all the teams that are desperate for QBs, somebody will be dumb and get
Yeah,
a
they'll
contract.
go
maybe.
somewhere, probably Cleveland.
I think someone.
Yeah, or the Giants, or like.
Is J.J. McCarthy going to be that good, though? I didn't think he was that great at college.
I didn't
in
think so
Michigan.
either. Yeah.
I'm a J.J. McCarthy truther.
What the hell does that mean?
I like him. I think
Why?
he's good.
Do you know what he meant when he said something about in Latin? Do you know what that was all about?
I'm a truther. Oh wait, what?
J.J. McCarthy, after the Vikings lost the other night.
Oh, he said something in
He
Latin.
put something on Twitter or something about in Latin, and
I
I forgot what it was that it like the translation, but it didn't seem to kind of fit.
I don't know anything in Latin. Yeah, I'd be curious on that.
I took Latin.
That
for like
seems
4
like
years.
something a wide receiver would do, though.
For 4 years, really?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I took it for 3 years in high school, and then I took it for a year in college.
That was my path with Spanish.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy can move, and
Okay.
he's got a freaking piss missile.
Okay. For an
I
arm?
like him.
For an
I
arm?
like him.
Or are you
He's
talking
gonna-
about his
he's
penis?
gonna
No, third leg.
Yeah.
Was he part of your tailgate? Is that how you know this? Or?
Piss missile.
Take for what you will. He's got a piss missile. He's got a rocket.
Wow.
Are you going to this game, Herb?
I'll be there.
All right.
Are you going to try
Bundle
to...
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to try to watch most of the game, or are you going to hit it
Oh
hard
yeah,
like
no
usual?
playoffs. I'm locked in. I was locked in for the Broncos, but
Yeah.
I just didn't remember about that doink how loud it was. But no, you got to lock in for playoffs and big games in general.
I just would figure, big game, spend some extra
Oh, yeah.
cash on this. I figured you'd want to be awake for the whole thing.
Oh, we'll be ready. It's a big one.
I don't think you can fall asleep in this weather.
No.
Yeah, it's like impossible.
If you do, you don't wake up.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, I'd find you in a ditch somewhere a week later.
My daughter and I were at the Jets game, and it wasn't exactly warm, but it wasn't as cold, and these two people in front of us slept the entire game. Couple passed out. Completely passed out.
At least no
The
one was
entire
standing up in
game.
front of
Great
you.
time. They must have had a great time.
Hammer lot?
I don't know where they were from. I have no idea. No, this is in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know where they were from.
Oh.
The
All right.
woman behind me, I sat down for this one play, and she said, "Good boy," like I was a dog.
I think people standing in front of certain people pisses them
Well,
off.
I was mostly fine.
I don't know when last time you were at a game, but every game
Jacksonville, Monday night.
I stood the entire time because you had to see.
Yeah.
Everyone was standing.
Yeah, a lot of people
To be
stand.
expected.
Whole
Yeah.
time. F
No, I'm
that.
okay with it,
Yeah.
but they don't sit. If you want to
Yeah.
sit, you got to go in a suite or
Right.
in the club level down below. Where
Yeah.
Or stay home.
I got a
boy,
Facebook friend
she
who's
says.
she's kind of a wild card, and she was there and she was behind Pierogi Pete at the game, and he had like basically the same hat on that
Mac.
Mac had on
So she
coming in.
couldn't see.
Oh, yeah.
And all
Take it
she
off.
did after the game was post like 18 pictures of her view of the field behind him and just complained about him like the whole time. And I was just like, okay.
Question. Question. Who's Pierogi Pete?
Right?
I second that question.
You never seen that guy?
Can you share it on our socials?
Yeah. Well, he got the name. I don't know if he has
I love
anything to do with
pierogies.
pierogies like outside of the game, but he used to wear like a big ass pierogi like costume.
Jesus Christ.
And he's been to like some other events too. I've seen him at.
Herb, you need to start wearing a costume so you could become Bill's whatever you want to be.
If they give me a costume
Bill's
that's warm enough,
Robin. You should go as Batman's sidekick Robin. Bill's Robin. Or the Bill's Riddler or something,
He could be a Flintstone guy. Take Mac's costume.
Fuck that. No.
I'll wear any costume that's like got a heater inside of it or something. I get fucking cold at these games.
You should get that inflatable dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
Those are pretty warm, I
No,
think.
they're not warm enough.
You don't have a heated jacket or a vest?
I do. I layer. I just wear so many layers.
You should go on Amazon and order an electric jacket.
Do they let you wear those in the stadium?
Yeah,
I
you
thought-
can now.
Wait,
You never used to be able to.
Oh,
You
okay.
can now.
I ordered alpaca socks. Alpaca socks.
Sacks. A pack of sacks are pretty big.
They got to keep them warm, right?
The real trick is you got to come up real high. Anybody know that one? Everybody know that movie?
No.
That's a Chevy Chase, right?
Yeah, Funny Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mountain Oysters or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain Oysters.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy used to have a pierogi place. Looks like it closed in December, so I guess it wasn't that good.
Oh,
But,
boy. I love pierogies.
Here's some pictures
Pierogies
of
are
him
great.
wearing his pierogi thing. But I think he retired that since maybe his restaurant
Let's
closed.
see if I recognize this guy.
Definitely never seen that guy. How many seats does he have to buy when he wears that fucking costume in the stadium, too?
I don't know, but I don't know if she has seasons or if she just goes to multiple games. But she's like, "Oh, first I had to deal with this fucking guy, wearing this big ass pierogi thing, and now
That's
he's wearing
perfect,
a
Herb.
goofy ass hat."
You could load up
And
so
I'm
many
like,
heat
She
packs.
sat behind him?
Yeah.
That's not bad. I wouldn't want to sit next to him. Look how wide his
Well, no,
costume-
she had.
Well, he had that hat on. He had like the water buffalo hat on.
Oh, jeez.
So
Okay, so let's talk about what we thought of the other outcomes of the games. Then we can talk about the next round of games, and then we will save the Bills for last so people don't ditch.
I think this playoffs again exposed what we thought of the NFL midseason.
I was very disappointed that Herbert blew the game.
Well, outside of that,
Frick.
it's a have and have not league. It really is a have and have not league. You either have it and you've got a shot, and there might be maybe 10 out of the 32 that have that. The rest of the league is mediocre or worse at best. And that's what the playoffs bore out.
I
really.
was blown away that the Texans won.
I agree.
Handedly.
I agree.
Not shocked that the Steelers sucked.
Agree.
Was kind of shocked with the Washington Tampa game was pretty good.
But they were close. They were
Yes.
very close in the
That was a
standings.
good game.
That was a pick 'em.
Yeah. Who did the Rams decimate? I mean, I didn't think it would be that bad, but goddamn, the Vikings suck.
Yeah.
They need something there. Holy shit.
I mean, I'm telling you, the Rams are good.
yeah.
I think what they
I
did.
could see the Rams Bills Super Bowl in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Revenge tour.
There we go.
I think what all the Rams did was look at the tape from the week before against Detroit, and they're like, "Well, we found their weakness," and they just basically followed up what Detroit did to them on that Monday night game, and they cracked the code.
Has the Bills' defense ever been that aggressive this season, like the Rams were with the Vikings?
I don't think so.
Because
Can they be that aggressive?
It's not their identity.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
So is that what you do this week? So you surprise them with this isn't who they are. What are they doing?
That's the coach's strategy. That's what we pay a coach to
Okay,
dial up.
we'll get to McDermott and I guess in a little bit here.
Okay.
Eagles played who? Green
Eagles,
Bay.
Yep.
Oh, is that a
Handled the
surprise?
Packers.
Nope.
No, not a surprise. It was closer than I thought. I thought
Eagles
the Eagles would be
slept
better.
through the first half, but they still kind of beat
too
them.
bad.
It was 22-10 was the final.
Okay.
7-0 in the first minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So Herb, you got the schedule there in front of you, or who's playing
Yeah.
who? Okay,
Texans.
give me the NFC first.
NFC, you had Eagles.
No,
over
who's coming up?
Packers.
No,
Oh,
who's coming up?
Who's coming up?
Eagles play.
Eagles home versus Rams. They're 6.5-point favorites.
I'll take the Eagles.
I like the Rams there.
Okay.
At least to cover. We'll see though. Eagles are a better all around team.
Everybody else,
probably,
what are
but
they-
Yeah,
what do you
I
guys-
go with Eagles.
Yeah, same.
I like the Rams. Did you see
Give me
the
the points.
Eagles? The offense for the Eagles was not good.
Yeah,
So
they really struggled in the first half.
Well,
I
I mean,
like
look
the
at
Rams.
fucking Hollywood Brown was reading a book on the sidelines.
Yep.
Yeah.
AJ
Right, AJ,
Brown, yeah.
sorry.
The coach came out and said that wasn't the first time. It's the first time that the camera caught him doing it. So, I don't know.
Do you have a problem with that, reading the book on
I
the
mean, I'm not a
sideline?
big fan of it.
Whatever gets a guy jazzed up. If
What
that's going
book
to get his
is it?
head right.
Well,
Is it the playbook
He
or
caught
what?
like 3
No,
passes.
no,
so.
It's about motivation and
Yeah, it's
confidence.
like a motivational book.
It's a new Amazon bestseller. I mean, it's flying up the
Yeah,
shelf.
it went to number 1 because of him.
Yeah.
Well,
But so he read the
Marketing.
book, but
Marketing.
he caught like 3 passes that game, I think.
Right.
Yeah, and
they
that being
said they said that he read more pages than he caught balls.
Yeah.
if
two-
that guy was on my team,
2
I'd be
pages.
like, why don't you look at a fucking tablet
Yeah.
and look at your last route, or
Right.
like what's going on?
Okay,
with, like,
so
the
you're
guy
not
who's covering
you're
it.
not a fan of him reading the book.
So if you're at work,
I'm
and
kidding.
you're-
I couldn't believe when I saw that.
these guys are getting so much damn money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and it's not a regular season game; it's the playoffs.
Yeah, so what if it's a regular season game? You
Playoffs?
still-
Don't talk
you
about
know what I mean?
playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Book is a weird choice for the playoffs.
I'd rather be listening to like music or something. Or
No,
like,
yeah.
just getting
Well,
like
yeah.
pumped up or something. Like reading a book.
All right, so
Yeah,
we're
book
split.
like
We're
that.
split. Kinda.
Yeah, I kind of like the Rams.
Okay.
See?
Never
I think
a-
they could be
never
a little
fan of
live.
reading.
The commies are 9.5 point dogs at the Lions. I don't see the commies winning that one.
Great story.
Who are the commies? Washington.
Commanders.
Oh, okay.
Great story. Rookie quarterback again.
Yeah.
You know, looks like the franchise is in the right direction after RG3. But I don't think anyone's stopping Detroit.
Yeah, no.
No, Detroit's a buzzsaw.
Yeah,
At home.
I don't think Washington's going to win.
Would that be? Is that the biggest shocker for the rest of the NFLs if the
Lions
Washington
lose?
were to beat the Lions?
Oh,
that would,
frick.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's any
Well,
other team
Oh, yeah.
that would
agreed.
lose.
Does Dan Campbell get fired if they lose?
No,
to
Never.
Washington?
never.
Not
Definitely
happening.
Easy,
All right,
easy.
all right.
Yeah.
Jesus, I
I
feel like
guess
this is
it
well,
matters
what pizza
too how
fucking
they
Facebook
Could
group?
you just order a $41 pizza? Fuck, damn it, Kyle.
Like if Goff
Jesus.
pulls like a Darnold or like a Herbert out there, then like maybe that's where they're kind of like looking like, oh,
Yeah,
this
like-
guy isn't our guy. But
Goff looked very pedestrian against the Vikings.
Pedestrian.
Very. Like he's not all that. He's got a great system and
so are you
players
either
around him.
Are you either alien or pedestrian? Is that the measurements?
He's pretty good.
It's better than Darnold.
But he's not one of these AFC guys.
Right.
Frick, I know.
The same 4 AFC quarterbacks that were in this round last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say I'd be more shocked if the Texans won than the commies won. I'd be really shocked if either of them won.
I wouldn't because there's something weird about having pretty much 3 weeks off before a major game.
Yeah.
I agree.
And not only
That
that,
wouldn't
but
shock
I'm going to say it again. I don't think KC is as good as their record.
Right.
You know what I
No.
mean?
I don't think
They
anybody.
hear us
thinks
talking, they're going to crush them.
Like Detroit is good. They're
Yeah.
good. They're as good as their record, you know. But I'm not.
They
not
said
sold on
Andy
KC.
Reid's record after a bye is ridiculous.
So is McDermott's.
I
Right.
think his is more, but yes.
Well, sure, but I mean, that goes to tell you what you're saying. I mean, obviously, buys are whenever, but if you get a buy during the playoffs, that means you're playing the lowest seed. So, of course, you're going to have an advantage in the playoffs. But, I think Detroit would be.
Hold on
the bigger upset.
okay, keep talking.
I
I'm
think
keep talking.
KC's been on autopilot for a lot of this season. They started playing well the last couple weeks when their starters were in. I think they're going to be super dangerous in the playoffs.
I would be very concerned. I mean, they'll probably come out and do damage and prove me wrong. But
Yeah.
having that lapse, Christmas was a while
It's
ago.
a while.
I mean,
Wow.
that was the last meaningful game they really.
Isn't it 26
played.
days?
23, I think. Something like that.
Dumb question. They Chiefs playing Kansas City, Missouri, correct?
Yeah.
That would be right.
Okay. The game,
Jayhawks.
they play when? Saturday night?
Correct.
Yeah.
Or Saturday afternoon?
I would love to be wrong. I'd
Saturday-
love
Saturday,
for the
4:30.
Texans to win. There's
Saturday
nothing.
at 4:30.
Is it 1 and 4?
It's going to be 20 degrees.
No, it's 4:30.
20 degrees.
4:30.
4 and 8.
That's right. Yeah.
4 and 8. 4:30.
Oh yeah, ours is 6.
Correct.
Yeah.
So 22 degrees. Can the Texans play in sub 20 degree weather? Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
But they're playing. They're again. It's like a hockey with a team that plays that back to back and they come out jammed, even though they played the night before.
Dude, look at what San Francisco did when they came here in that shit weather.
I get it.
San
I get it.
Francisco
I
is-
just
Yeah,
2 weeks is about
You
max.
tell me,
they would've
you
lost
telling me
anyway.
the Texans are better than the 49ers?
Yeah, this year they are.
All right, I'll show you.
49ers are so hobbled.
Hey,
by
Colin, do you want to take
injuries
over
and
for
stuff.
me?
Right.
Jesus.
I think I'm with you, Kyle. I think the Texans are going to get smoked.
Yeah.
Stroud is going to struggle.
I think cold weather teams in the NFL always have the advantage.
It's fair.
Because cold weather teams can play when it's warm, and I think they get a break, and then I think they play better when Buffalo in January would go down to Miami.
Yeah,
But fucking Miami can't win above a game sub 40.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Which 40 is not even that bad, really.
No.
Like, when
No,
you're
40
playing-
is great.
I would
when you're-
love 40
when you're
right
playing.
now.
Yeah,
Jesus.
oh, yeah.
Oh, I'd take that. It's going to be a cold snap here. I hope that lake freezes in the next couple days.
We drove along the river today, and the river's not a spot of ice. Nothing. The
Bring
Black
it.
Rock Canal was frozen, but
What time did you go by there?
That's because of the ice.
Because I went by this morning. There was a ton of ice in the river.
yeah, I went by 4 o'clock ish somewhere in
Oh,
there.
all right. I went by. I saw a lot of ice in there.
All right, well, I was also driving, so I didn't
Oh,
look too hard.
There's a lot of ice. A lot of ice out in front of the GM plant right now.
but not like years past. The boom would be loaded by now.
Oh, yeah,
And it
yeah.
wasn't.
I think what happened is with all that wind the last couple of days, I think it pushed that because I think the lake ceased. I think that ice went right over top of it.
I'm sorry, like what?
What is this word that you just used?
It's when all the water comes over here.
It's when the Ohio water, because of the wind is so
Spell it.
strong, Seiche, it's like SCICHE or something like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The lake gets
Basically
real
a
shallow.
tsunami, Lake tsunami.
Yeah, so all the water down there shifts to our end, and our water comes up a couple feet.
I learned a new word today.
Me
Yeah,
too.
because I went by the what do they call that? Unity Pier or whatever they call that walkway out there now.
Yeah.
The water
It's
in the
Squaw
Black Rock
Island.
Canal was above the walkway, and
Oh, yeah.
you know that's when the water's real high.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's next, Herb?
What's that?
We got okay. Hold
Look
on,
at Sean reeling
All
us
right,
in.
so what do we got? We got Eagles and pretty much the Lions playing each other pretty much for the NFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think the
You think the Rams are gonna pull
Surprise,
it
that's
out?
divisional
Smart money.
too. Commanders, that's a divisional game, right?
No, East first, NFC North.
Oh, I thought they were playing the Eagles.
Yeah, no, commies are at the Lions. Rams and Eagles, yeah, I don't know. That's the only one of the other three games other than the Bills where I could see a bit, maybe an upset, but all of them are kind of a stretch.
Okay, and then we picked pretty much Kansas City over the Texans with maybe a long shot that they get upset.
I would love
What's
to
the
see
line
it.
on that?
Go
What's the line
Texans.
on that?
It's only 8.5, but it's a 41.5.
Only
Yeah, 41.5 over under. So like
41.
those lower over unders with the high spread, the home team's usually going to win.
Huh.
Write that down, people.
Yeah, take that down, betters.
So our game's really the only competitive game most people are thinking.
Yeah, ours is we're 1 point dogs.
And I believe it came across the text feed, or I heard it, that this is the first time a Buffalo Bills team has been an underdog at home.
Yep.
That says something. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
it says something.
Ever?
I
Ever.
believe so. Yeah,
That can't be true.
Playoffs. In the playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah, playoffs.
Yeah.
Speaking of gambling, folks, if you need help in New York State, you should call 1-877-846-7369 or text 467-369 to New York State Resource Centers for Problems of Gambling.
Absolutely.
That's why when I sent that in the feed, in your response was, you're not surprised because they should be favored. That's not what I meant. I just meant I couldn't believe that it was since 1970. Every home playoff game we've been favored. This is the first time.
That is
now,
surprising.
it is only by 1, but that means it's actually by four
yeah.
because they automatically give the home team the 3-point swing or whatever. So they're saying they're going to beat us by a touchdown.
I'm fine with that.
I don't care.
Let that be some more motivation for this franchise. Let stoke that flame. Throw down a piece of kindling on that fire.
We were favored against the Chiefs last year. That means
Nothing. It means nothing, right?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, no.
But well, I don't know. I was pretty confident going into that game, but we were also missing half of our defense.
Yeah. Well, and we're also a Stephon Diggs drop away from.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yo, finish that up, bud.
Bring it home, Herb.
Bring it home. I am going to come out and say that I don't think they're going to win.
Are we moving to Buffalo? Or are you
Who else we got?
Okay.
We got the Chiefs-Texans, right?
Did you pick who you think? For Chiefs? Yeah, you think.
I picked the Chiefs. I would love to see the Texans upset them, but I don't know how they're going to do it.
I know.
Because I think the Chargers are another one of those teams that get to the playoffs and they choke.
Right.
Fucking choke.
Chargers stank last week.
Kyle,
yes.
What's your take on the Ravens and Bills?
I'm scared. I think that because the Bills have never proved that they can stop Derrick Henry, I don't think they're going to do it this weekend. I just don't. And that's what sucks is that this defensive line is not going to do enough to keep Lamar behind the line of scrimmage. And I don't think they're going to be able to keep Derrick Henry behind the line of scrimmage. And I think they're going to struggle. And I think then Josh might get behind, and then Hero Josh is going to come out, and I don't want to see a repeat of Week 4. I hope I'm very, very wrong, but that is my hope, fears, and dreams. Okay, I'll do that right now. My fears are the Bills are going to get crushed. I hope that they keep it close. Dream is that we fucking win.
I'm going to go with...
You're going to do the three? We can go around and do the hopes, fears, dreams?
I hope that we see a 2007 Disney classic, Pirates of the Caribbean 2, where they unleash the Kraken.
Oh, my God. Seattle hockey?
We have been basically waiting, and he's come alive the last couple of games. But Samuel, I got a funny feeling they've got something for this guy.
He's quick.
He's going to pop.
That's the only reason we have him.
They've been saving this guy for something.
Oh, don't even get on that bullshit about saving the playbook for this.
I'm telling you. I think that to me, this is it. I actually had a dream earlier in the week that we got past the Baltimore Ravens. In this dream, the Ravens were done. We beat them. And
Did you wake up to Steph putting a pillow over your face?
No. I could feel the anxiety just dissipate. I could feel relaxed. No, I think this is our time. We've got. It's good to be scared. I'm scared too. I'm nervous too. At some point, this has got to be our time. And you know what? If the football gods want to shine down here on the Buffalo Bills, this is the time. Because if they get over the Baltimore Ravens, and we can prove that our fears were just for naught.
As long as we come out of that game healthy, because we all know what happens in these cold weather games.
Right. And it's luck, but it's a battle. I'm pulling for Buffalo. Both heart and mind want Buffalo, and I see them. I see that this is it. It's got to be it. When your back's against the wall, that's when you're most fierce.
Do you feel, and this question could be everyone as they take their turn, do you think the Bills will maintain a 2-score lead or a 2-possession lead?
I don't care. I don't care as long as they come out with a W. I want Bass to kick the game-winning field goal.
Fucking just said his name.
I did.
Don't say his name 3 times.
I want.
Don't say
5
his name
for 5 versus the Broncos.
I don't care what happens as long as the outcome Buffalo wins. I don't care, and that's what it is. I need to be patient. Right? Hope. What is it? Hope. I'll get out.
Hopes, fears, dreams.
Fears is that
we got plenty of time.
There's an injury to Josh Allen, and dreams is that they. Well, of course they win the Super Bowl. But this is the
just
year.
Just this game. We're going to do this every week that they continue on.
The cold, Father Winter steps in and freezes Henry, and he ends up with 46 yards in the entire game. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, all right.
So that's my dream. But yeah, it's a dream. Herb, hope, dreams, fears.
Yeah. No, I hope we see. I hope we see the Lamar from that 2020 game a little bit. I think he's going to be affected by the weather.
Yeah,
I believe that. I believe it in my brain.
Okay.
My fear is sharks. Sharks are scary.
Oh my God!
No,
this is funny. Are you seeing ghosts too?
No, my fear is actually that they tried to murder Josh on the tush push in week 4. That was fucked up.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
They literally had a plan where one guy ripped his helmet off, and I feel like this has been way too under-discussed all week. One guy ripped his helmet off, and then Roquan Smith tried to spear him helmet first. I don't know. That was kind of messed up.
Yeah.
And I still didn't forget about that, and I hope that doesn't happen again. So I guess that's a hope and a fear. Dreams.
I think that week, I think those guys got fines for all that shit, didn't they?
I sure hope so.
I kind of stopped looking at the fines list.
Dreams, I don't know. I guess
you're in New Orleans celebrating in a hotel with a bunch of hookers.
Ooh, all right.
Again,
be a dream tonight. Yeah, now that you're putting that one in the brain. Yeah,
material.
The dream is the Texans beating the Chiefs too, but that's not happening. But that's a dream.
You know what?
I'll be rooting for it
sucks?
so hard.
You know what sucks is that we play second, and if the Chiefs do win, like, I guess it would suck if you don't end, because I just feel like if you beat the Ravens, you have a very good chance of winning the Super Bowl here if you could beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
I think that's great for confidence, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
But what
sucks,
right? Well, exactly. That's why it's the last game of the weekend, probably, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I wish we weren't last. I wish we were maybe ahead, because, like, if we beat the Ravens and then say the Texans, I mean, I'll take it however you get it, but how much sweeter would that be if we end up meeting Kansas City in the championship game and then we pummel them? Like, that would be the perfect icing to the cake this year. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be hot.
Yes, hot. Yeah, that's hot. Paris Hilton.
Whoa. Early 2000s.
That's hot.
That's
right?
hot.
Isn't that what she said?
Yeah, that's hot.
Okay. Mike.
I hope we win.
Okay.
I fear we'll lose.
Okay.
And, of course, injuries. And a dream would be to not only win, but just crush them and just shut everybody up.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Brendan.
So I have a little bit of a different thought here, some levity, I guess, just because of where we were at the beginning of this season. I obviously hope we win. I think we can do it.
You can do it.
I guess my dream would be that we do it in convincing fashion, where going into next week, no matter who we're facing, is just like, yeah, we're fucked. So, but really, to me, as long as they look decent this week, if they lose, I've been looking to next year this whole season. And really, it's been just icing on the cake how well we've done, how good we've looked. And I've always said, like, next year, we're going to have money to get some real players in here. We have probably the awesome chance to be here again next year. So if we lose, I'm going to be pissed. It's going to suck. But I'll get over it pretty quick, I think, just thinking about next year. It's a long year to, be a year away again from this position. But you're going against debatably the other best team in the NFL right now, at least the way that they're playing. Detroit, yeah, I guess, whatever, but we already beat them. So if we lose, this is kind of the Super Bowl to me. Obviously, we want to get to the real Super Bowl and, hoist the trophy, but I'm not going to be that upset if we lose, because this team is it's an amazing team.
Overachieved.
Yeah. Yeah, the team's done way more than I thought they would do. The way that they've done it has been impressive. The way the defense looked last week, I have to say, the secondary, I don't know if it was, that their receivers weren't catching the balls, Bo Nix wasn't really putting it where it needs to go. They looked okay, and they actually were covering some people, which is probably the first time all season I've seen that actually happen. So I'm optimistic, but also realistic. I unfortunately feel like Kyle with Henry. I think that he's just plays well against the Bills no matter what the situation. And he wants it too. I mean, he wants a Super Bowl bad. I mean, he's in the same boat as Saquon, really. Mm-hmm. And these guys are going to be at their best. So it's going to be tough. So that's my take on it.
Okay. Well said. Well said.
That was well said. I agree with you about it being kind of like we're almost like on borrowed time in a way. Like nobody at the beginning of the year, we all talked about house money, exactly. We all talked about how it might be kind of a down year. We weren't. I wasn't all that excited about Matt Collins, who I think is the most underrated player on the team, probably. I'm a little bit different, though. I think that we're going to win, and I think there's a couple of reasons which we've already talked about. I like saying all the time about the time of possession, which I think is the key to the game. But I also think of revenge, too, a little bit. I don't know if anybody else happens to like it, but I love revenge movies. Like a good old Steven Seagal back in the day. Come on. Nothing's better than that.
Love it.
Top quality theater.
We went into Baltimore week 4 and got our asses whooped. There's no cutting it up any other way. There's no other way to look at it. We got our asses kicked. So here's our time to go ahead and I don't know if we'll really kick their ass, but we'll beat them. And then little things kind of trickle out here and there on things like Twitter, stuff like that. Ravens cornerback Marlon Humphrey, he said, "I've seen their playbook and it's more predictable than the weather in Buffalo." And little things like that gets me fired up. So you've got to think that Josh Allen is licking his fucking chops. And I don't know about anybody else here, but I would rather have Josh Allen more than anybody else as their quarterback.
Yep.
And so I only got two things to say. Go Bills.
Nice. Before you go, Kyle, did you see, though, that Milano did the same thing? Milano went on a radio, I don't remember where it was, and said something, I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines of, Lamar doesn't scare him, that if they keep him in the pocket, he's just another Deshaun Watson.
Oh, shit.
Did he already get a massage this week?
Yeah. I hate to tell you guys, but I think I saw that both those quotes were made up.
Were they? You know, it's funny because when
I was going to say the same thing, but I didn't want to rain on anyone's parade.
Listen, I'm all fired up over here, guys.
I know, I didn't want to ruin it. We were just going so hard. And I was like, and then there was a second quote after that, and they were like, "Oh yeah," and I made all this shit up or something like that.
When I saw it was Milano, I was like, "Come on, he's probably the nicest guy on the planet."
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think I've ever heard Milano talk before.
Yeah. We know we've reached a limit when Herb's fact checking us.
Maybe I blacked out a little bit there.
Sean, you meant a low. We've reached a new low. All right, how about you, Kyle?
Shit.
Well, give us your score. You gave us your hopes, fears, and dreams.
Yeah. Man, I'm on the spot here. I think it's going to be like a 24, 27, 28, 24, somewhere. I think sadly, it's going to come down to who's got the ball last. And I hate being in that position.
Totally disagree. 47-21.
Let's go.
Holy shit.
Bills.
Let's go.
Wow.
Well, see, I was thinking more like you, Kyle. I was thinking that the Bills would win, but I was thinking like 28, 24, 27, whatever, something like that.
You know what sucks is that this is like, is this how this season's been written? Chiefs have kind of like limped or gimped through the season. They're 15 and set or whatever, the 15-2. And then they get to Texans, and they'll walk over them. And then the Bills and the Ravens are going to kick the shit out of each other to get there. And then whoever gets it, you know what I mean? Like, it just has this feeling of, have we been doomed or destined to not win it, even despite our amazing season? Like, oh, yeah, we'll let them, 14-4 or whatever they got, or 13-4, and they'll get through the playoffs. And then, we're going to cut it short on them. I don't know. It's just, I got a weird feeling this season. I haven't gotten myself too excited. I haven't got myself too low either. I've been trying to keep my emotions consistent this season because, like Sean, we're all most of us, some of us, this end of the table, kind of just is like, God, I've dumped so much emotion to this team in all my life of watching. And it's like, how much more do I have to give? And I just hope that they can do what they're supposed to do and just play better than the other team and win. It's because I truly think that if they win this, they'll win the Super Bowl.
I think the winner of this game wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It
sucks that we have to go to Kansas City, though.
Do you need a hug?
No, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Thank you, though. But
I'm happy to play Kansas City anywhere at this point.
Agreed.
Kansas City is not what I'm worried about at all.
We
hold on. I will be, depending upon how well they play against the Texans. If they smack the shit out of them, that could be a little concerning.
Still not scared. They suck.
Right. Okay.
I'm ready to play him again. I'm ready to take him on. I'll say, so, all right, Bills have put up less than 30 once at home this year, and that was against the Patriots. That was just kind of a dud game, whatever. We only put up 24. So we're probably putting up 30. The win's not a factor, so Josh is going to play great. Lamar's never played in this cold of weather.
Never.
So the stat that whatever's going around is he's below coldest he's played is 29 degrees.
That's not that cold.
Yeah. I mean, I still think Lamar's a great quarterback, but Josh is just way better.
Yep.
And the Bills are going to win 34-18. McDermott's going to step up and have a great game plan, and
that is the biggest.
We're going to slow down the run game.
It's his dream.
We're going to slow down the run game early. We're going to slow down the run game early, and they're going to be playing catch-up all game, and Lamar's going to look really not good as a passer in catch-up mode. That's what's going to happen.
Really not good. Okay. All right.
Baltimore 24.
I'll take it because I know where you're going.
Yep. For those that don't know,
he's going 31-24.
I pick 31 the Bills every game. So
I got it.
He
works
hit
for me
last week.
Yes, he did a couple times.
Ravens 26, Bills 24.
No analyst, no lead up. That's your gut.
I just went with it.
Okay, I got it.
I agree. I think it's like 28-24, 27-24, something like that. Bills, though, for sure.
All right.
The Ravens are a very good team. You know, I don't want to, I don't want to not give them praise, I guess. The Ravens are definitely a good team, good opponent. Lamar had a great year, not an MVP year. And, Derrick Henry, obviously, we're all a little scared of him. Who isn't? But I think the Bills are better.
Did you guys see that video with Harbaugh and the reporter saying something about the city of losers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
Let's talk Sunday night.
Well, Harbaugh shut it down.
Yeah.
But that reporter said that last year.
Yeah.
And when it happened, shortly after, his mother died. And the Bills fans,
karma.
The Bills fans did what they do, and they donated to something in honor of this guy's mother. And then he freaking said it
He's
yesterday.
still an asshole.
But then I guess I think it was Sal Capaccio said that some of the other Baltimore. No, it wasn't Sal because he wouldn't say this, but it was a reporter said that some of the other Baltimore media had reached out and said no one likes this guy. He's like the Mike Harrington of of Baltimore media. So.
Okay.
It's not like Baltimore, some big powerhouse city with championships.
Yeah.
They only have two teams anyway.
That's Boston, by the way.
Yeah.
Boston.
They do have 2 Super Bowls, though. So
Okay.
That's 2 more than we do.
And then they got the
whatever.
Orioles.
Orioles. Did the Orioles ever win it?
Yeah.
I think so.
The early 80s,
Yeah.
I think.
70s or 80s?
Yeah.
They had a good squad this year, didn't they?
Yeah, they were pretty decent.
Yeah,
they were like the laughing stock of the league for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And they finally got some good young talent.
Yep. Herb, that's what you need.
Good young
What's
talent.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have been the laughing stock. I got that part down.
Oh, shit. Do we want to talk any Sabres on the air here or no?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Sabres are so fucking bad.
No. I got a question. So, Ovechkin the other night scores another empty netter. He, as of the other night, I don't know if he scored any like last night or tonight. He has taken over the NHL leader for most empty net goals in a career. He's got 61. Wayne Gretzky's got 56.
Okay.
So, if he were to score a bunch more empty netters, does that kind of water down the record if he breaks it?
Not at all.
Not for me.
No.
Because you got to take them as they come.
Well, not only that, but you're helping your team get in a position to have the opposing team pull their goalie. There's all that to it, So
Right.
who cares if it's empty net or not?
Your coach trusts you to be on the ice to protect that lead. If you're the beneficiary of that, go for it.
Well, it's not like he's doubling Gretzky's like open net goals.
Well,
he's like 10 more.
No, I think he needs like 22 or 23.
No, I'm just saying like he has like 10 more than him
5
right now.
5 right now.
Right.
Yeah, I mean they're almost the same. So
Well, Kyle's question was if his next 20 goals are empty netters.
Like,
if his next 20 goals are empty netters, I'll fucking shit myself.
If you break any Wayne Gretzky record, you're just a god.
Yeah.
Those records were never meant to be broken. Those records were just unbreakable.
I can't believe that Wayne Gretzky has like 2,300 assists.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah,
it's insane
his
how many
assists
assists
will
he
never be
has.
broken, yeah.
70s and 80s were full of 8-6 games.
Oh my God!
Much different league.
Which does make the Ovechkin record, which he's going to break, even more impressive.
That he played it in this era, not that era.
Yeah.
And he played through the clutch and grab, too, at the beginning of his career, where the goals were all way down.
Before the lockout, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys cool with him? A Russian breaking the record? It doesn't matter.
I don't care about that.
Canadian, Russian, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's gone, I guess. I was just curious. I mean, I listened to Peters and After the Whistle, and they're two Canadian guys, and one of them will be pissed if he gets Wayne Gretzky's record broken by a Russian, and another one's like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, they've got McDavid waiting in the wings, so I mean,
You think he'll catch him?
Oh yeah.
You think so?
If he wants it, he'll take it. He's proven that.
Canada just has hockey to
I just don't know if
on,
McDavid's
And they
on
just
pace
lost in the World Juniors anyway. So.
They have Tim
Exactly,
Hortons. They have Tim Hortons.
Yeah, they have Tim Hortons.
When was the last time a Canadian team won the cup? It was
93.
Montreal?
Yeah, Montreal.
93.
I remember when Anaheim, I think it was Anaheim won it, which Brad May was on that team.
07.
They went on like
Jeez, how do you remember these?
Letterman or whoever, Leno, I think it was at that time. And they're like, they bring the cup out and he's like, we won it for an American team and all that. And all of them were Canadian. They're asking them all from Canada.
Yes.
From Canada.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, no.
All right. I just figured, to help this guy get the record quicker is Capos are up by 2. They pull the guy. All right, Alex, get out there. Get out there.
There's that
They
element.
probably will at this point.
Once he gets into the low teens, it's going to be a sideshow. It's going to be almost like their home run when they were going to break Meredith.
Otani, when they're just kind of serving them up.
I know, but when they were breaking the all-time home run record for a season,
McGuire
those
and
tickets
Sosa?
will go.
Yeah.
I watched him live
They were
on
juicing.
Monday against Buffalo last Monday, and he got just coming off a broken leg, which we know what that's like.
I don't.
He
I don't
looked
either.
me neither, but we've seen it with athletes. That's what I'm trying to say. Milano with whatever, but injuries to the bottom half. He looks every much the 18 years.
Yeah.
Like just watching his entire shift.
Yeah.
Not what you see on the camera. I was telling Kyle and other people off the podcast, he looks like this is going to be it maybe next year, but he'll have enough time.
I have a feeling that he's going to do whatever he can to break it this year so he can be done. I don't think he'll play after he breaks it. Unless he's going to try to get 900 and then stop.
I don't know. But he did look, not like I'm accustomed to seeing, that step where he can just run people on the boards. He looked like a labored veteran. Again,
slow.
coming off a
He's
broken
slow
leg,
now.
5 weeks after he broke his leg.
Are we dedicating this portion to Corey?
This hockey.
The hockey talk?
Oh, sorry, Corey. But this one's for you.
Yeah. Hey, we saw Corey the other day.
We did.
Yeah.
Corey, fantastic.
Yeah, that was my main question, was just Ovechkin and if it takes anything away from him or not.
Not at all. Not at all. Those are, again, and Kyle and I debated this one, those are regular season goals. None of his playoff goals count towards the record. The same thing with Gretzky. Gretzky actually has over 900 goals.
Okay, I might ask you a question and then I might pause it and then come back to it just so we're not on the spot. But
Sure.
Who are your top 5 greatest hockey players ever?
Bobby Orr's number 1. Number 1. Wayne Gretzky's a distant 2.
Distant.
Holy shit!
After are you talking in history?
Yeah,
because it's tough to really look at McDavid and stuff like that because there's so
you can
much
put him in
juice
there. I
left
don't give
there.
a shit.
No, the Mount Rushmore traditionally is Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky. You've got Gordie Howe, and I lost. What are you doing?
Got to drain
Yes,
the dragon.
he's got to take care
God.
of that.
Oh my God!
See a man about a horse.
And who else am I looking at? Who's the?
You were
before?
missing some really good hockey players.
You're talking about the greatest ever, though. You're not.
You know who I think the greatest hockey player ever was, and
Marcel
unfortunately,
Bion.
no,
That's what it's going to probably be like. Go ahead. What do you got?
Mario fucking Lemieux.
Yeah,
Dude played like
Yeah.
600 games,
Right.
averaged like 3 points a game. That dude was a stud.
but he was in Wayne Gretzky's era, so he was second fiddle every time.
Because he was sick for like 3
I get
years.
it. I'm not denying
oh
that.
Oh my God.
But he was second fiddle to at that generation's greatest player was Wayne Gretzky.
He was Eric Lindros before Eric Lindros.
Right. In both careers,
And he's another guy I would put on that
both.
list.
No. But the problem is they don't have.
No one
they don't
played
have-
like him.
They don't. I agree. They don't. But they don't. He didn't have the longevity.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have the medal to back it up. He doesn't have the trophies. The greatest.
Don't
defenseman-
agree with him.
About Eric Lindros, I do. I mean, I saw
Who are your couples?
Well, I mean, I really haven't thought that much into it. I do like Lemieux a lot. And
I just think his point production for the small number of games he played, I think he was amazing.
Yeah.
Big, fast, could shoot, could skate.
He's on the Mount Rushmore usually, and you got to look at those are the top guys.
I mean, for me, like Wayne Gretzky is probably number one. Like seeing him the little bit that I did, and back in the 80s, watching hockey late at night on CBC or something.
Hockey Night in Canada.
Yeah.
Don Cherry.
Yeah.
Grapes.
Those fucking suits.
Those jackets.
Love
Yeah.
it.
So definitely him. One guy that is probably one of the best sabers of all time, Gilbert Perreault. So this isn't best all time guys, but Gilbert Perreault, I saw him in an old timers game right before the odd closed. And so this is well after he actually got done playing.
Yeah.
He was amazing. Like how quick he was still. Like he went from like behind the one net to down to score, and like you didn't even know what happened.
So you're putting Perreault ahead of like LaFontaine and Mogilny?
I honestly haven't seen enough of Perreault to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Alexander Mogilny. So I haven't seen enough of Perreault. Just that one instance.
Yeah.
Like it really like kind of.
Yeah.
There's been very few hockey games I've ever been at that I was like, holy shit! Like
I didn't realize how good Dave Anderchuk really was.
A big dude.
Yeah.
He fit that style during that time.
He has like what, the most power play goals or something?
Yeah.
Ever?
Kind of a wide
He had the
body.
records for like 4 different teams.
I remember as a kid, he scored 5 against Boston one game, and that was on the cover of the Buffalo News the next day. That's how old I am.
It must be in the preseason.
Yeah.
Fucking guy.
Hey, just really quick, I have to excuse myself. I'm sorry, but I wanted to read this to you. I just stumbled across this. You guys can tell me how to say this word. It's a name, Heraclitus. Okay.
So spell that
I got to write it down.
Who is it? Who is it?
Right there. How you say that name?
Heraclitus.
Okay. So it's apparently, according to Vaughn, Terrell Bernard gave a rousing speech based on that Man in the River, it's called. It says the man goes in the river once, and the next time he goes in the river, it's not the same man or the same river. The past is the past.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like Greek. Okay.
So he's saying,
Heraclitus. I
forget
think.
what happened in the last game.
CLKT, it says.
Right.
So forget what happened in that game because this is a whole new game.
And right, you got to take what happened there and you got to learn from it and use it. And
yeah,
I like when Buffalo fans are nervous. The outcomes, at least for this season, have been very good when we're nervous. Like, we're not overconfident. We weren't overconfident against Denver. I like how pessimistic we are. It bodes well.
Do I need to hide all my fragiles when you come over here Sunday?
No, not at all. I like what Brendan said. I like that. Like, next year, it's just going to be better, and I don't know how you top this year. But
okay, so next year, should the Bills push hard to get Myles Garrett?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
But they probably won't get him.
No?
I don't think Cleveland will give him to Buffalo.
Not with that attitude, they won't.
Fucking Dennis.
I do
I
have
don't
to
think
excuse
there's
myself. I have
anything
an
Cleveland
early
won't
morning
do.
tomorrow,
Okay.
so I got to roll.
All right,
So
see you,
this
Mike.
great show.
All right, go
See
Bills.
ya. Yeah, I don't think there's anything Cleveland won't do.
Right, and I think Buffalo is a marketplace where it's attractive. It's attractive to people. Obviously, if he's going to get traded, it's a different story. But this place is attractive to people want to come to Buffalo.
At least football players.
Football, right, to play with Josh Allen. I mean, you're not a market that is
We
like
don't have palm trees.
You've got
and our taxes are high, but
right.
we got a good football team.
We do. We've got a football
Getting a
team.
new stadium.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of appeal to this
Sweet
franchise.
sauce.
Who wouldn't, if you're a professional
Unless you're
football
Sean
player,
now.
I like sweet sauce too. Who would not want to come to Buffalo? Like that's the thing. Like the free agent market, the cap space they're opening up. It's hard not to be bullish. Let's get past this week though. Let's focus on this week, and then we'll talk about the offseason when that time arrives.
I think Myles Garrett would be a huge.
Oh,
get.
he's great. Yeah.
Huge get. And that could be the only missing piece you need on defense.
Be awesome.
Hey.
I'd like something in the secondary. Maybe.
Let's win a Super Bowl without him first. Kyle.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Let's focus on what's here now. We got to win the Super Bowl first. Then we can worry about additions.
Did you order a $41 pizza earlier today?
No, I ordered a $41 pizza Friday. Thursday night, actually.
That's right.
Fucker.
Scrap that.
What was that dig for?
Because everyone's beating on you today.
And you didn't even ask me who I thought my favorite hockey player was, or the best of all time. Just fucking skipped right into Mike's.
Wait, what was Sean's top five?
It was Bobby Orr and nobody else after that.
Oh,
Right? Bobby Orr, Ray Bork, Adam Oates, Cam Neely.
Real quick, true story.
were they all? Oh, they were all Bruins.
No.
Dennis Leary walked up to Wayne Gretzky for the ESPN commercial and was like, what an honor to meet the second greatest player in the NHL. And Wayne Gretzky deadpans goes, "You must be from Boston." and that's what the old ESPN thing. Oh, who do you got? Who's on your Mount Rushmore of NHL players?
This guy I relate to, an idol of mine, Jaromir Jagr.
Yeah, fair.
Oh. Yeah.
I was going to say, if
Second
Jagger's
in
not on
points
the
to
list,
Gretzky.
what the hell?
Still playing right now.
Yeah.
52.
Where's he playing now in the chat?
KHL or
Czechoslovakia.
somewhere.
I think he
Yeah.
owns the team that he's actually playing on.
Yeah.
What a
And
stud.
just pulling tens.
Right.
They're like 20 years old.
Yeah.
He's living the dream.
He is.
The yin to your Lindros Yang. His longevity gave him everything. Lindros didn't have that. Both great players. Both dynamic great players in their own right. But you saw one who could play into his late 40s in, professional. And then you've got Lindros who just took a beating because he was so big.
Yeah. What about goalies?
Hashik.
He's the only one, Buffalo Sabres, that you got a shot truly being on the Mount Rushmore. But goalies don't get the love.
I don't care if he played for the Sabres or the Hawks.
Right.
Dude was a fucking stud.
Yep.
Who are you saying?
Hashik.
Oh, yeah. Hasek was
For goalies?
greatest peak of any goalie,
Ever.
clearly.
Like, there's no dude that flailed around as much as him on the ice and made save after save after save doing it with his fucking pads and shit.
100%.
Holy shit.
He was
And he was probably drunk half the time.
He was good. He was very good.
Oh, my God.
He torched my team. Could not wait for him to be out of this franchise.
So who are your five?
No, it was just the one.
See?
Oh.
As long as you get Jagger in there. That was going to be
Yags.
the one that I was going to insist that is at least in the top five.
Yeah.
He played from 1990 to 2018.
Where was he drafted?
Probably Boston.
No.
No, Pittsburgh, was he?
Well, yeah, but they
Fifth
actually
overall.
No, but the draft was held in Buffalo. that year.
Okay.
The draft was actually held. Was drafted
Lindros
fifth.
too, right?
I don't know if that was Lindros was 91. I thought Jagr was 90. I don't know. We'll fact check that. We'll get back to you.
Was
but
hockey better then than now?
it was different.
I liked it better.
It
then.
was violent. Like look at some of those Scott Stevens hits.
Oh, yeah.
You're like Murder Central. I went to the game, the Sabres game, really objective. Didn't really care for either team.
Was there? I think what made it better for me was that there was more superstars then.
Yep.
And now everyone is kind of even, but now it's all good players, and you have a couple generational players. A Bedard,
Right. Yeah. It's more skill, less thrill.
McDavid and Eichel.
You don't see
There's
the
not as
hitting.
many.
They took the fighting out of it. That draws people in. But it's different. It's when you have a competitive franchise. It's a.
Do you like
fun
fighting?
sport.
Do you like the fighting in hockey?
I think I don't.
Do you?
I like.
Do you watch MMA?
I don't. I do not like MMA. At all.
Neither do I.
I don't
care for it.
I think there's a place in it. I'm not a knuckle dragger like a lot of people.
Shots fired.
You know, that's usually the criticism of people that support fighting.
Do you mean like lowbrow?
No, like
Like
caveman.
a gorilla.
Caveman. What did you think I said?
I heard
That's
what
exactly
you said.
what I thought you meant.
Knuckle
Dragger.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of the
Okay.
Fucking idiot
So
if you like
Yager was in the
MMA.
1990 NHL draft.
yeah. So Lindros was 91.
Yeah.
But cavemen are what referred to when they you know you like.
No,
fighting,
I know what you
like
meant by it. I just was caught off guard because I might have to edit that out.
That's not a no. That's
It's not like a derogatory.
It's not a
slur,
racial
but you're
thing
gonna
or
lose
anything
some,
like that.
some fans
Yeah.
maybe
It's
over it.
unless you're protecting the guy from the Gecko commercial. The
We've got a
caveman.
couple knuckle draggers in the
Jesus.
ZaBills's nation.
Yeah, but no, like it's got to roll. Like I watched Tampa Bay Boston last night, and there were several fights in that, and that adds a little element.
I think the fights in hockey are not what they used to be with like the Rob Brays. and all
Oh,
those
for
guys.
sure not.
And this fucking Matt Rempe kid, fuck him.
Oh, the Rangers, right?
He's a dinosaur.
Yeah, fuck
You know,
that
again,
kid.
he's a big guy. There's not a lot that we see.
After
that
the
with
whistle
Ryan
want
Reeves.
that clown here in Buffalo. I'm like, fuck that
They
kid.
tried that.
Well, and there's a
before.
difference
Fuck
between
that
like
kid.
being like tough and like fighting and being just fucking dirty.
You got to be able to play.
like
You can't just have a guy there to fight. He's got to be able to contribute.
Is Donald Brashear still in the league?
No, he retired a long time ago.
Who's that other clown? Reeves?
Ryan Reeves,
Yeah.
Toronto. Great contract for 3 years.
Ty Domi? Is that who you're talking about?
His son
I
plays.
meant Ryan Reeves.
Max Domi plays also for the Leafs.
I liked back in the 90s. They would just slug away at each other. Now they're all like strategic and like
Right.
they're all both like standing there like
grabbing,
waiting for the first punch and like come on.
I'm not willing to do it, so I can't be critical.
A lot of those guys, I think, back in the day, all they did was train, like boxed. That's all they did was just train boxing and could skate. Like Rob Ray, I think, was maybe a boxer too. Like
Barnaby
these guys
was.
just
Matt Barnaby took up.
all they did was train for fighting in the off season.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't look like it. They just kind of wailed away at each other's faces. That
Oh
was
my
the best
god, that
fight.
was I'm like unbelievable. And then it's amazing how the guys with some skill also could throw punches too. I'm like, what the frick?
Yeah, Brad May was a very good player. He was a high draft pick, I believe, by the Buffalo Sabres who could fight.
Yeah.
That team of the
Yeah.
early to mid 90s was a very potent team that you as a Buffalo, not a fan, but you couldn't help but respect the grit, the toughness they brought. It's kind of what's lacking.
Here's a
currently.
question for you, Sean.
Sure.
Were you a Sabres fan before a Bruins fan?
I was.
And you convert. Okay,
did,
you're a
yeah.
convert. Okay.
I'm a convert.
And what did it for you?
The 93 Stanley Cup playoffs, where the Boston Bruins were the 1 seed.
Andy Moog.
Andy Moog.
What a fucking bandwagon motherfucker.
Did you name your son after him?
No. I wanted to name the dog after Cameron Neely, but I got turned down. But no, loved Andy Moog. Andy Moog was one of my favorite goalies. But
Brad May.
yeah, so you got it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I at that point, I'm sitting there in my grandmother's family room watching Game 4. The Bruins were up convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
They were losing the series 3-0. And the Sabres stormed back, and they took it to overtime, and that's the highlight for all Buffalo fans, the Brad May goal. It's a good goal. It was a good goal.
How did that turn you into a Bruins fan?
I became
Them getting swept?
I became a Bruins fan leading up to that series. Like all right, let's punch the hometown team right in the mouth, the 8th seed. Easy win. And they lost convincingly, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to stick with this team until they win a cup, which they did in 2011 in Vancouver, June 15th. It was a wonderful moment. And
I heard they cheated.
They did.
Can't cheat.
So,
like
some
that.
of that stuff from the other Boston teams came out.
Yeah, I'll take it. You pour some water, some garden water on their ice before the pregame. You change that mojo, just like the Bills are going to do with Baltimore. You like how I transitioned?
I did.
Speaking of, do you think this Happy Gilmore movie is going to be any good at all? Or
Yes.
has a chance to be
Love
good?
it. He's got the.
You think so?
Did you see the Bruins jersey? He like
Hold
looks
on,
at it
hold
like
on,
a
hold on.
I
bat.
kind of don't want to see it.
I
I'm
will say-
afraid.
Me
I
too.
know, me too.
Oh, because it's going to ruin the original?
Yeah.
Wait,
Because I love the
Grew
original.
up with that
How,
movie,
can you,
yeah.
how can you live up to the?
No,
the
you
old
can't.
one?
I
Shoot
think
McGavin.
Adam Sandler's done a decent job with sequels.
What sequels does he have?
Grown Ups too.
That's what I mean.
What's the only one?
Hotel Transylvania 1 through whatever. How many are there?
There's
at
like
least
4 of
three.
them.
I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, he does a decent job. I mean,
But he hasn't like made any sequels to the good movies
until now.
I know.
Okay, so here's the other problem. We were, 12 or 15 when those movies came out?
Yeah.
So if you were to watch that movie now, I mean,
I still love it.
Yeah, I've watched it.
As your first time at this, our kids watching Happy Gilmore then or now, like, would it be the same as?
My kid loved it.
I
It's still great.
just loved
It holds up.
Big Daddy, The Water
Yes.
Boy,
Okay,
Billy
here,
Madison,
let me ask you
Happy
this.
Gilmore. When those came out, I was just I was that age and I just
Billy
freaking loved it.
Madison, yeah.
What's got better odds? Happy Gilmore 2 being good or the Bills winning?
Ooh.
Bills winning. Bills winning the Super Bowl or Bills winning?
No, just
against the
winning
Ravens?
the Ravens.
Oh,
This
definitely
week?
the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have faith in Adam. I liked his last couple movies.
Yeah, I mean, I love
Like
Adam
Uncut
Sandler,
Gems,
yeah.
I thought was amazing.
Oh, it was a good movie. Yeah,
Yeah, but that wasn't even a comedy.
Doesn't matter.
No.
but it was a good
His
movie.
name's on it.
Yeah,
The one with
Happy Gilmore is going to be tough to
Yeah.
recreate.
I mean, Bob Barker's dead.
So is
He'll get
Chubbs.
somebody else.
Yeah, Chubbs.
Chubbs is dead too.
Probably his grandma is probably dead.
maybe the Gator got him.
Did anybody like it? Did anybody like it? Took me like recently to realize that the girl in Happy Gilmore is the
Modern
same
Family.
girl from
Modern
Modern
Family.
Family.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, that's the girl from Modern Family.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, who? What part?
Julie Bowen.
The cute
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
blonde
Just,
in Happy
yeah.
Gilmore is the mother in Modern
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, gentlemen,
Yep, just you.
I gotta run. I gotta go too.
All right. We'll cut it here.
Yeah, we
Go
can wrap
Bills. Go Bruins.
Get the fuck out
Go
of here.
Pizza.
Bruins.
Sabres won.
Go Bills.
I know.
Sabres won 4-2.
They
Wow.
convincing against
I'm
Carolina.
getting cup crazy.
I'm betting one was empty net.
No, it didn't. It wasn't even. They didn't even score.
The referees gave it to him.
They gave it to him on a penalty.
Oh, really?
What was that for a hat trick?
It was.
Who are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Was it really?
The
Yes.
Sabres,
McLeod
McLeod got
tonight?
a hat trick
Yes,
on a goal that never went in the net.
correct.
Wow.
A referee, if you commit a penalty with an open net and a guy's about to score, like you throw your
Yeah.
stick, the referees have
Oh,
the
like
can
goaltending.
award
Yeah, he
you,
basically had a
can
free,
award you a goal.
Yeah.
free
And that's what
line.
happened?
That's exactly what
The guy
happened.
threw the stick?
No, he basically
Slashed the
tomahawk,
shit out of him. He broke his
Oh,
stick in half.
like chopped his stick as he's coming in on a breakaway with no goal.
It happened to Kellen the other night.
So instead
Some
of
kid
doing a
slashed him right in the
penalty
hands
shot.
on a breakaway.
Yeah, so it's an automatic awarded goal.
And I think
break
he was
his
going
stick?
for a hattie. He was going for a hattie.
Do you break his stick?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
I was gonna say.
But I mean, this
say.
kid came down and whacked him right on the hands on a breakaway.
Oh,
He had two. He was going. I was ready to throw that hat out. What do you think? Would I get in trouble if I throw a hat out there in a freaking 14U game?
you gotta do it.
You wouldn't get
For
in
your
trouble.
own
I don't
son,
think.
If your son gets a hat trick, you got to throw your hat.
You might get escorted
If you're
out.
not
You have
wearing
no
a hat,
choice.
It would be worth it.
if you're not wearing
you
a
seen
hat,
it?
you got to find one.
Seen what?
Have you seen any parents throw hats out in any of your games?
No, but they're 9. So
You have to throw it out. Yeah.
I gotta say, if I
He
saw
gets
someone
caught in
throw
the
a hat out there, I would think you're the biggest douchebag ever.
Thought about it.
You can think about it all you want.
Did this guy order a $41 pizza?
Yeah. And you ate it.
And it was good. It was two good choices
Yes.
that we will preview.
Friday.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up here. I can't take any more abuse. All right. Gentlemen, thank you for sticking around.
Go Bills.
And
Go
thank you,
Bills.
listeners, for listening through the hockey talk.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
ZaBillsPodcast is a presentation of Kmart Productions, sponsored by MJB Electric and Dudzik Chiropractic. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't, please follow, rate, review the show, It helps with the algorithm. ZaBills is executively produced by me, Kyle. Executive sound engineering by yours truly, also me.
Fundraising, also by Kyle.
All artwork executively produced by Avery and Mark Rochon. What the heck is this? All music and lighting executively produced by Kyle. That's more like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Good night.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.